Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. A little later in the day. Basically what we got going on is yesterday we got stuck out in the trucks. Doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Today, I didn't make it over to Ray's, but all we did, I should say, was literally like clean. So that was boring. So what I figured I'd do is, instead of boring you with us cleaning the shop, do some exhaust work. I'm gonna finally try to start getting the exhaust on this truck. It needs to happen, or getting her fired up without going deaf. So I'm gonna hire on that right quick. Alright, so that's gonna be step one. We just got it tacked all over the place. Therefore, if it doesn't line up like we want it to or whatever, break the tacks, start again. I do apologize, space is limited under here, sorry. Alright, so this piece we just tacked in. There's our drain bung from last week. I want to make sure we kind of can get that out. Here's the other one. Oop. Boop, boop. Anyway, so let's say we just tacked it here. We got a 90 degree. And the eventual idea is to run it alongside this one, and the exhaust will take up this area. I do have another 90 degree pipe. We're going to use this end because that end's too short. We're going to cut it down, tack it on there. If I can get a far enough away shot. Go something like that. And run next to the other one. So got our line drawn we need to cut. Now, I don't have the fancy tool to make that a perfect circle, but I do have a ruler. If you go around it, and I need 3.5 inches off, you just keep going around it and marking, and eventually you make your way all the way around. So now we get it marked. I'll throw the grinder at it. We're gonna cut. All right, went ahead and got our pipe marked. Basically, I have to hold it right quick, throw a tack on her, and then throw about 5 or 6 more. Go do another test fit. If all checks out, weld it together. All right, test fit. Bolts in the collector. We missed the drain plug. Missed the cross member, which that's kind of an important one. Even over there. It doesn't look like much gap in here, but it's actually a good bit. But most important thing is we have room in here. It'll be a little tight, but that's not a big deal. So we'll weld that and that. Alright, so both sides are welded up, or both welds are welded up, I should say. That's about all you're getting out of me for the night. As you see, it's starting to get a little dark. Alright, kind of hung the mufflers up in place. I need about 3 foot of pipe per side. I'm gonna try to get that tomorrow. We'll probably be at the shop tomorrow, most likely. We'll do shop stuff, and probably Thursday I'll be back on this, finishing up this exhaust system, hopefully, or at least get most of it done. We're running basically true duals. We're not doing an X pipe, Y pipe, anything like that, and the main reason is makes diagnosing should something go wrong a lot easier. So basically, if you got a blown head gasket or something, just for an example, you're only blowing smoke out of one side, not both. Or you miss fires or blah blah blah, all sorts of other craziness. It's easier to detect issues without the H pipe or the Y pipe or what's the other one, the X pipe. So we're not going to put that in. Plus, it allows us to drop one side independently of the other if we have to. So yay. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Like I said, hopefully be back at the shop tomorrow, and yay. I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Well, you don't have to get kids, so yeah, it's Wednesday. Yay. So, coffee. So I told you I'd make it over here, which I did, somehow. Yep, had to go do medium duty stuff and then made it over here. We've been, honestly, we've been kind of lazy. We've been sitting around just talking about some stuff. what he's doing now is the ground cables for the wrecker. They already just crimped into a lug. He's going to re-spread it right quick. We'll send that, clean this, send it all down in there, and solder it like it's supposed to be. But in the meantime, I'm basically putting the cooling system in the wrecker. And I think after that, we just basically got to add oil and
water.
Yeah, oil and water, and give her a quick fire up. That's probably not going to be today, though. Yeah, so he's going to clean all that out right quick. I'll kind of show you what I got going on. So we're kind of going in two different directions right now. So I'm going to use my 3/8 pointer here. Just put this fuel line on, that little fuel line over there. Fuel system's done. Radiator, fan shroud, fans next, 2 coolant hoses. So I'm gonna knock that out right quick. And I'm stuck at the house tomorrow. I'll be doing exhaust work like I was saying. I think Friday, if all goes well, Friday we'll try and fire this thing up and see what happens. Hopefully, we'll see. It's a big if. Gotta make sure the batteries are charged and all that fun stuff, so we're gonna make some progress. Okay, so it's been a little bit. Fuel system's hooked up, Y pipe's in for the exhaust.
Cooling system is hooked up.
Yep, cooling system's in, fans on,
Grounds are connected.
We're at the point where coolant, oil, and batteries. Yeah, my finger went batteries.
Coolant, oil, batteries.
True.
I know.
Never mind. Last step is you get to watch us struggle trying to put a hood on, but I'll show you guys something kind of neat in here. I'll zoom in on that.
Those hinges.
Yeah. So in the process of doing stuff and things, see a little baby bird's nest in there. And there's
one hatched, one hatching, and 5 or 6 more to go.
Yeah, there's a little bird's nest in there. So what we've decided is we're going to put the hood on. We're not going to show it all the way. This truck's not going to hit the road for at least a week, maybe 2 max. Just absolute max. Give those little guys time to grow up and bust out of the nest, so to speak.
Hopefully.
So I thought that was pretty cool, though. Like that one hatched today, and that thing's like a little tiny guy.
Yeah.
So we'll give them time to get out of there and do their thing.
We hope.
Yep. But without further ado, we're gonna hit the struggle bus. We've gotten pretty good at these. But
thank God it's not a Dodge hood.
Oh God, we've gotten pretty good at these, but I foresee a struggle.
Oh wait.
So end of the day, we've got the hood on, as you saw. We've got the all the other stuff.
The hood's on and needs adjustment.
I think we hit the actual latch with the engine coming out. I'm pretty sure I remember that, but we'll have to bend it back and line it up. Not too concerned about that, so our little birdie friends can have a chance to
survive,
do their thing. So we left it kind of up so the mother can get in there and do her thing. Alright, so it's Friday. Kind of lied, I didn't get to do any exhaust work yesterday. Ordered the pipe, and it got lost in transit, so I just nothing I can do. So hopefully it'll be in today. I might do that Saturday. I don't know yet, but today we're gonna try to get a truck fired up. Try, keyword.
Two would be even better. 2 trucks fired up would be mucho gooder.
Yep. So basically we're gonna throw the batteries in this thing, some coolant or some water, some oil. Hopefully get our pump sprayer working so we can, pre-lube the thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
And most likely, we're gonna take the big truck, number 4, and hook cables up to it so it doesn't just murder the batteries because those things take forever to get fuel in them. But without further ado, we're just gonna try to get a truck fired up. Alright, so I got all last minute checks done. Got the tape off the intake. We checked our kill plate. This is super important. Should for any reason it run away, you put this big old chunk of steel right over the intake, kills the engine.
Chokes all the air off.
Yeah, prevents a runaway. We got our little pump sprayer over there full of oil, and I just got all the air out of it. Got it starting to go into the engine now. So basically what I'm gonna do is turn this thing over about 5,000 times, and as it's turning over, I'm gonna keep pump spraying, lube the top end of the engine. I guess the only thing left to do now, because we got water in it, we got some oil in it, basically turn her over and start getting some oil moving. Alright, well that's been a long time coming. Good to hear that truck run again. So we're going to do about, well, first off, we found out the heater core was, it left the chat. So, once it started building a little bit of heat and pressure, so the inside of the cab's full of water now. No big deal, it's like a $40 part, whatever. But we're going to put it through about, I think, 10 heat cycles is what we determined. Full hot, full cold, just to make sure everything's, broke in, we're not going to have issues and whatnot. And hell, at that point, we'll probably go ahead and get the transmission and then the PTO system ready to go in. Until then, I'm going to work on Ray's Super Snail. Alright, got this mostly put back together. The only issue we have is on the original turbo is a little sealing ring right here. Didn't come with this one. We just got to research and see if that is right, or do we have to reuse the other one, or what in the world's going on with that? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to have a ring there though. So yeah, I think we're just gonna call it for the day. And calls are coming in like crazy, so if my exhaust tubing come in, I will see you guys tomorrow. So it is Saturday. I finally got my tubing. Long story short, it never showed up at the auto parts store I ordered it from. I called 2 other places, well 3. The third one had it. Went out there, then they couldn't find it. I actually went back there with them, and we finally found this goofy thing hanging from the rafters. So we got it here. I'm gonna start cutting it up and start making an exhaust system. Step 1. Put our marks. It's about 36 inch. We're doing the passenger side first, just because that's more of a straight shot, and it's gonna be tucked closer to the frame. So if I can get that right, I'll match the driver's side to it. So start cutting and getting this thing up in here and placed and see what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna adjust a little bit, do this backwards. I'm actually gonna weld the muffler onto the pipe first. And the main reason is
What are you guys doing? Those are big ones for fans.
I need to know where this is going to kind of land as to how much I have to trim the other side, to get to line up with the collector. So if that's here, I can make that happen a lot easier. Alright, so about the past 30 minutes, I've been shaping this pipe to this pipe. Just fine tuning, so to speak. Nothing we need a bender for, but just, you know, 1 or 2 degrees here and there. Essentially, that's ready to burn on. Basically, I'm going to cook that on and then cook this on, and that's pretty much the driver's side done for the most part. Once I get both sides done, I'll see how much tailpipe I'm going to run before we put the weed burners on. The objective is to get all this as far back as humanly possible to keep the drone and the noise out of the cab. If it's going to work or not is another thing. It probably won't. It'll probably still be noisy as hell, but I'm trying here, okay? Alright, so basically I'm gonna let this cool a minute. I'm gonna throw the driver's side in, that little S-bend, or whatever you want to call it, the built Tuesday, I think it was. My exhaust hanger. I'm just gonna tie it up with a piece of wire for now, just to hold it up in place, and I gotta figure out the hanger situation later on. But this is not permanent. I can't believe I'm admitting I'm using this, but just for now, just to tie it up and hold it, it'll be fine. Alright, so we got the S-piece in. And you see it looked a lot close, like it'd be closer in the other video, earlier in the video, but actually a good bit of room in there. So yeah, there it is. And if you're wondering about the Gorilla Tape, it's blocking off the header while they were just hanging here, so nothing got up in there and went into the engine. But yep, it runs all the way back there. Just ignore that. Blur that out. Yep. So the next goal is to get this back there with a muffler next to it. Alright, pipe's cut the length, got our chamfers on it. This one we're going to start from essentially the header back, or from the S-pipe back. So yeah, I'll weld this up, throw it in place, get the muffler in its home, and hook that in too. I'm just going to bolt this up right quick, get our measurement where the muffler needs to be. I'm just going to cook this all in at once. Alright, well, for some reason the camera didn't pick up welding this together, but it's done. Just going to bolt it in and see where everything sits. It should line up where it's supposed to, but let's see how it all sits and go from there. Alright, we'll bolt it up. Yes, this one, I know this one's sitting a little higher. That's just where I got it hung right now, matter of fact. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to address that, but still, it's in. All right, so we're gonna call that the end of the day, end of the week. As you see, we got the exhaust in this thing. Yay, it's another step towards running. The engine of the wrecker, it's running, finally. It actually sounded really good. I did fire it up later on that day. It had a slight fuel knock to it, but it went away. I guess injectors being dry for almost a year helped. Kind of helped that, but anyway. Ray's turbo is almost built for his truck. That should be done next week. We have like one more sealing ring to put on or something or other, and that's it. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm doing next to this, but gotta do something. There's always something to do with that. I think we're gonna call it for a week. Appreciate everyone watching. Ray does too. He's just not here because he's at home. Like, share, subscribe, notification bell. It's right there. Just give it a meow. With that being said, we will hopefully see you guys next week. Don't you fucking dare! If I land over him, I'll do it like, no, we're about to fight. Hey everyone, this one may require some explanation. So what happened was, there's some flies cruising around and Ray had a fly swatter. And yeah, I had one basically land right in my forehead, and I saw the gleam in his eye. He was about to smack me right in the forehead with this thing. So, just to explain why I about slugged him on this one, it was about to happen. We're basically gonna shall we try this again?